Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian is a Weirdo. It's been a while since I said that, and it had been a while since I had said that before, and it had been a while since I had said that before. And you might be wondering, why do I keep making these motherfucking videos? I am back in Los Angeles after taking a brief sojourn to the beautiful land of Thousand Oaks in California for some needed mental health care. And you might be like, you were already in mental health care before. There's different levels to things, so I kind of was in a place when I went out to a Thousand Oaks where I needed a little bit more care, and luckily it was a false alarm, thank goodness, but had to but was there a while. So, beautiful place, but you know, uh, back in LA now, and actually in the same place I was in LA before. Um, so I am here. I'm gonna make a Packer, um, and what a world to emerge out of treatment into. I'm not. I don't. Where do I begin? Where do I end? Where do There's a lot of stuff going on, y'all. I do have a roommate in my room, so if I have to end things abruptly, I will do that. Um, I know that that's not always, the most fun thing about my living arrangement, but what has to be done has to be done. Also, I tried doing this about 2 hours ago on my laptop, and my laptop, which has not been turned on in about a month, decided that it would not be turned on tonight. And so I'm hoping that it will come back to life. If not, that is just one more thing to worry about. Um, So, I guess one thing that I did do right before I left LA is I did a sale on my Etsy where I did Packers, or I did my whole Etsy page. Uh, I did 25% off, and so I got a ton of Packer orders, and I shared the sale with a group of um, it's a Facebook group of trans men and trans masc folks. So I got a lot of orders to that, but I didn't make a ton of money because I knocked so much off, and I don't put a big profit margin on my packers because I want them to be affordable to people. So I didn't make a whole lot of money off of it, but it was really rewarding to do. So that's okay. Now I did start my rat that I have a pattern for. Now I so the yarn that the pattern suggested using. Now, if you're wondering what pattern I'm talking about the very realistic rat pattern that I was very graciously given to by Crystal, and this is by Natalia Urkova, and it is very detailed on how to make crocheted rats. That's crochet. But she uses one weight wool yarn, and I use 3 weight cotton, mercerized cotton. I didn't even use one weight mercerized cotton. Um, you can come in. Oh, one second. Hey. So this is what I've made of the first rat thus far. So I'm using I think a 2.25 millimeter hook, and this is the rat. So these are gonna be like sewer rat size, instead of like cute little rat size. Um, so they're pretty, sizable. But you can see the little bottom lip right there, and they're gonna have ears on them. And then this is the detail on the head and their little bodies. I'm so excited. Also, so I got magnets. Okay, I just started having like once I started making them, I started having really stupid ideas, which is not unusual for me. But I wanted to have them have little magnets and make two of them so that they could kiss. I thought that would be really cute. And then I was like, well, obviously they're gay rats. And you might be like, why do you have to make everything gay, Ian? And to which I respond, why do you have to make everything straight? No, that's not what I would respond with. Um, but they don't have to be gay. But is it better that they're gay? One might argue yes, and that one might be me. So I'm gonna make little magnets so that they can kiss and be stuck together if they want to be. And then also maybe I'll give them like a little pride flag or something. I don't know. I can't tell the future, but all I know is this is the rat shape thus far, and it honestly looks so much better in person. But and it's a very easy pattern to follow. Even so, sorry, I'm recovering from some kind of plague. So oops. Um, I It's very easy pattern to follow. It's very well written. I can't recommend this pattern enough. Easy to kind of check through your steps. And like the pictures are very clear. If there's anything that's unclear, the author does a great job at just explaining things. So if you like making kind of weird things, especially if you like working with like one weight yarn, then I do think that you could do something like this and have a great time. Or you could do it like me and do 3-weight yarn or 4-weight yarn and create some giant rats. Because, let's be honest, that's rad. Yep, come on in. Yeah, you can come in. I guess it's your room. My fucking laptop died. Well, it's on its last leg of death. It's like death rattling right now. So Joe's helping me. Hopefully, we can bring it back to life.
Yeah. Joe seems to know a lot about that stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, can you bring it back to life? He's like, I honestly have no idea. Which, fair. Can you bring my little bit to live back to life?
Right.
Again, no idea.
A bit of part of me. Wait, did Jude move?
Yes. Today was Jude's last day.
Oh my god.
Here.
He's here so little.
Yes. Gave us just a taste and then ripped it away from us.
I know, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right,
Rude.
Well, enjoy your streaming.
Thank you. So if there are comments that I have not seen, I do apologize. If there are not comments that I have not seen, then that means my medicine's working. Yeah, so let me see. Actually, let me do an overlay just in case things pop up. Not that I'm able to read something that's that fucking small. Actually, I might be able to make it bigger. Okay. Doing things on my phone is so challenging. But I would really like to know how everyone else is doing. The world is crazy. And, you can have it be as large as global politics, or you can have it be as small as Joanne is closing, and that sucks a lot. Whatever is on your mind is welcome to be discussed here. I'm not going to get into my personal politics. However, um, when they do affect my life, I will be vocal about them wherever I fucking please. However, in other matters, I do let everyone's welcome and opinion because opinions buttholes sometimes. Nope, I'm not even gonna say that out loud because I'm like, ugh, you don't need to come back and be the most disgusting person in the whole wide world right off the bat. Even, come on now. I don't know if you all remember how gross I am. What if you don't and you judge me? But yeah, so yeah, Joanne's closing is a weird thing. I know a lot of people are talking about it, obviously, because it's like, Joanne is a staple of American crocheters and yarn artists, and um, for those of us who like a good bargain yarn, so it is definitely a weird experience to have that close, and because I know as someone who sells um, finished items, I like it will affect my bottom line, and um, so that's something because I pretty much rely on things being on sale when I buy them. Not that I build that into the price because like you never know, but things are usually always on sale, so it's part of like how I can make some more money. Okay, I'm just gonna bring this up here. You popped up my screen. What are you? Okay. Oh yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. In spite of all the craziness of the world and whatnot and what have you, I hope that everyone's doing as well as they possibly can. And taking care of each other, taking care of, the people who are important to you, because that's how we get by, right? And, I know it sounds a little idealistic, and especially from an old curmudgeon like myself. You might be like, you're not that old, but like spiritually, I'm very old. So don't try to tell me I'm not old. Um, but uh, I think like us supporting each other and getting through, difficult times is what as a community we can do when the tough gets going or rough gets going or whatever the fuck the phrase is. You don't come to me for my infinite wisdom, okay? Like I don't even know why you would come here in the first place. So um no, let me see. Nope, that's me. Huge, gross. Also, so my hair is like faded red right now. It's kind of pink, which is not my preferred. Okay, how the fuck do I get? Okay, there we go. I hope no one's trying to chat because I cannot see it if it's someone else. But anywho, um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I am, and I have been for the past month, looking for apartments in the LA area, Um, I'm looking at like really my top contender tomorrow, in addition to some other ones. And I'm really hoping that works out. Uh, and we'll kind of have to see how that works. Uh, because that would make a big difference and would be a big change in my life. So I'm kind of, you know, holding my breath to see if it shakes out like I'm expecting it to. Um, Last time I moved out and did this like life thing, um, it didn't end up so well. And I don't really know if I talked about how not well it turned out. I mean, hopefully, or maybe not hopefully, some of you could put together based on my trajectory into California and through California. But but yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride the past like 7 months or so, and or even more than that. I mean, we're coming up close to a year of just like nonstop thrill ride, except the thrill is horror. And some people are into horror, but for me living my life, that I would not say that I'm a super big fan of it personally. Um, and it's yeah, I prefer to not have that happen again. So I'm kind of going into things with like a lot of trepidation and like fear that I'm trying to not let like overtake my whole body and soul and spirit. And I'm trying to be like, you know what? Like some of these fears are natural and they're okay and I can live with them and it's cool. It's fine. And then some of them are like you're just in your head and it's shit's gonna be okay. And if I can do that and get through that, I think that that'll be a big a big part of how successful this trip around the sun will be. Um, and there's one of the big things is not having, I wouldn't say that I had like a wide breadth of, like, I always had like my core friends in North Carolina or like that I was friends with in North Carolina. Um, and then I developed pretty bad agoraphobia and I didn't go out much and I felt like that was really hard um, keeping those connections going, even though my friends were great, like I could not talk to them for 6 months. We were always like that where we could not talk for 6 months and then we catch up and it would be like no time had passed. It's amazing and I still love my friends so deeply. But being on the other side of the country, it's like, okay, I need people that I can actually like go out and see. Like, if I have a bad day or, or if I just like want to see a human, I need to be able to like go and do that. Because that's part of like being a healthy, functioning, normal human being, right? So I think that's something that I'm really focusing on right now is not only finding a place, but also trying to build some kind of like social network of people that I can talk to, hang out with, stuff like that. And it's just weird for me because I don't like, I never really, like, the last time I went out and just like made friends was like in high school or like right after high school. So I used to work at this gaming lounge right after high school, and that's where most of my friends I met them. So I've had those same friends for like over a decade, and now I'm expected to like go make friends. Like, ew, social interaction. I don't want any of that. Um, But unfortunately, that's actually the fucking answer, and what I have to do, regardless of whether I like it or not. Um, and I think it will be good for me ultimately. I just need to stop being a little baby bag bitch about it and, start, you know, trying to figure out how to socialize again. So if anyone's been in the position where like you move to a new place or you have you know, you've had to start making friends in a way that like you didn't have to before it had been a long time. Like, do you have any tips, like what types of things to look for or where to look? Let me know. I would really appreciate it. One of the things is like I feel like crochet is like a great crochet and really fiber arts are great ways to meet people. And, there's always things like libraries or just, like public places that people like to meet and do yarn arts. So I think that is definitely one that I'll lean into. Oftentimes, and not as much in the past couple of years, as I'm sure you all have noticed, but sometimes, like, sometimes those groups can, like, tend to lean towards, like, older women, which I have no problem hanging out with, older people or women or older women. They are great. So that wouldn't be a problem to me, but also I do think that I probably need to start hanging out with like some level of contemporary because I don't really have that either. So yeah, there's got to be some kind of medium. I'm gonna have to stand up because they didn't. Do I have to stand up? Just do this. Okay, it's not in there, which is good. Okay, if I were Snippy's, where would I be? Oh, maybe it's in here. Also, random thing. So I'm trying to decide what hair color I want to do next. I have had like the red, pink color for a couple months. I hate it. I hate it. I've hated this color since I first put it in my hair. I did not think it flattered me. It was not really the color that I thought it would be. But I've been using the tube because like I have so little hair that when I use it, like I barely use any, and then also to save money, right? Um, this has not aged well. This does not taste good. But who cares? Whatever. It is what I have. Um, so I trying to figure out what color I want to go next. Now, like I know teal is something that I can wear fairly well, but like part of me is like, you want to be a lemon boy again. Go be a lemon boy. Like I love having that highlighter yellow hair. It was so fun, and granted, like as soon as it grows out, like especially if I do it on the sides, or like, because my hair is so dark, it looks like it's like black and yellow, but who cares? That's not a bad look either. I also just trimmed my hair because it was looking a little rough around the edges. Oh, well, I don't know. Have you seen my tattoo? I got it in December. It is a bat with little blood coming from its mouth. It doesn't have a name, so if anyone wants to give it a little name, I don't know. It's just saying that makes me want to call it Oscar Mayer. or like Oscar. My pet has a first name. It's Oscar. So I got this on Friday the 13th in December, and it was Flash. Which, if you don't know what Flash is like pre-drawn art, and or just pre-printed art, and they will tattoo that on you, and they won't make any changes. They won't do anything special. It's just like you get it, and they usually do it for a discounted rate or a specific rate. And for December, all of the ones, like I'd called a couple places that either did, like were doing a Friday the 13th deal, and they weren't that great of deals, or they only had like a sheet, so like you really didn't know if you were gonna like it or not, or one thing or another. But this was at Cleopatra Inc. in LA, and um, a lot of a lot of the art was like holiday themed, and I am not a holiday themed kind of person. Um, they did have one that was like $50, that which is their shop minimum. Um, and shop minimums exist because they have to get like needles dirty and like all of the prep work and everything. So there's a reason for shop minimums, even like small. They could literally tattoo a dot on you and you'd pay shop minimum. Um, but but it was that one was a coffin with like a bow on it, which that was my alternate choice. But this one was more expensive, and it had like a third eye here, so it has literally no relation to the holidays, as far as I know. Not any holiday I know. But it had a third eye there, and while the third eye wasn't terrible, it just wasn't what I was really looking for. So I was like, "Hey, could you maybe just take that off?" I was like, "I know you don't usually alter Flash. If you don't want to alter it, like okay," but I was like, "I just erase it and do less work. Like that's all I'm asking." And they're like, "Gotcha." Um, so um, so they did it. The tattoo artist killed it. Yeah, the only thing was, and I didn't know the language that they were speaking. I mean, I tried to communicate I had to communicate through the receptionist to the artist and like back and forth. Um, but so like that just made like communication a little bit harder. But he did his job, and I got a cool ass fucking tattoo, and it goes really well with my haunted house. It's a little bat, my haunted house. But that's the only tattoo I've gotten out here in LA. I mean, tattoos do cost money, and I've thought about potentially getting some piercings too, but I just don't know. I've been thinking if I do get any more piercings, I might get snake bite vertical appraise. So it'll be like what I have there, but here as well. So it'll be 3 in my bottom lip. I don't know. What I do know is that this does make it a little tiny bit more challenging to overdraw my bottom lip when I'm doing my makeup, but this sucker makes it really difficult to overdraw my top lip. But I could just take the jewelry out, but it's really hard to get back in, so. Okay, anyways, I keep getting distracted. I'm not fucking looking for this shit, so. It's not even in this bag. Okay. Scissors must be somewhere. Probably up there, but I don't want to get all the way up. Okay, whatever. No big deal. But yeah, so I started, like, looking for apartments and everything, especially like the past the last couple days I was in Thousand Oaks. I was outside a lot, and it wasn't like super cold. Like I'm not gonna be in California, especially in like basically like next to LA, and be like, oh my gosh, it was so cold. But it was chilly enough that like I should have been wearing more layers and I wasn't, and I was outside for hours on end calling like every place in the world basically to try to find a place to stay. And so I think I just kind of uh caught a little bit of a cold, perhaps like a skosh of bronchitis. Um, and I laugh not because bronchitis is funny, but because um, I laugh through the pain. It's a coping mechanism. Leave me the fuck alone. um, and um, yeah, so I came here and I was like super like sick and like phlegmy, but then also a lot of other people were too. So I'm glad that I was not giving anything to anyone. And then there was a bunch of pollen everywhere, and I was like, oh, maybe it was allergies too, or something. I don't know. But anyways, let me get. Also, I've been playing a lot of D&D lately, which has been super fun. And I DM'd for the first time. Actually, I spent most of my time DMing instead. And I like D&D much better as a player you know, than DMing because I I really like I think it's because I haven't played D&D enough to know like a good balance of like combat going into like like places and stuff like that. Also because I was playing with a bunch of other new people, they didn't want to explore as much and they weren't as independent. So I had to kind of you know, um I feel like it's a little mean to call it hand holding, but like a little bit more hand holding into like what like a story could have been. So I'm like, hey, do you want to talk to anyone? Wink, wink, wink. Like fucking nudge, nudge, nudge. Like, come on, do you want to talk to anyone? And so, um, but it was really fun. I had a great time playing. Had a great time. Doing that. And so I don't know if this is at many libraries, but I know that this was available at the one that we went to. So they actually had like playable box sets that you could bring home for like a week or two. I think it was like 2 weeks. But you would get this like big plastic box. It would come with like 7 sets of dice, and then it would come with 2 players' manuals, a dungeon master's guide, and then it would come with a monster manual and the dungeon master screen. So it was super great for like just like if you like getting all of the supplies to play D&D. So if you're like, oh, I would like to play D&D, but like that's a lot of supplies, like maybe they're available at your local library and you could get them for free to play for, every once in a while. Because that was super cool because things can be super expensive. Life is really expensive and I'm tired of it, frankly. But nobody asked me. Also, I keep um, playing Lady Gaga songs in my head. So if I just start like humming them. Well, first of all, this video will be taken on immediately, but that it just is what it is because Lady Gaga is life, and I'm okay with that. I've been loving the 2 new songs that I've heard. I think there's a third one out that I haven't heard yet. But or there's a teaser out or something. But Disease, so good. And then Abracadabra, so good. I'm not mad at either of them. The costume designs, the choreography, the conceptual, like the weirdness. I love it. Like that's the kind of Gaga that I am here for. Oh my gosh, Abracadabra, that like red spiked outfit that she wears is like, take me now. And then in Disease, the black outfit she wears, I'm like, take me now. And then everything that she wears all the other times, I'm like, you know what? You know what I'm gonna say. I was like, where's my fucking vape? This is why I laughed when I said I might have bronchitis, because when I was looking for places, I was just vaping the whole time. So, here's an interesting one. So, I used refillable vapes because they end up being cheaper in the long term. Even though I got mine stolen earlier in the year and it was part of my mental breakdown. But I got one, and so this flavor, I usually go for fruity flavors, fruity ice flavors. Now, California is, it's illegal to smoke menthols. It's also, you're not supposed to have flavored vapes, so I don't know how, whatever. But like, so the place that we went, they didn't have ice flavors, and then because the ice is kind of like a minty tinkly that mimics menthol, and then but last time I tried one of those flavors, I was pretty disappointed. So I was like, let me just try something real left field for me. And I saw this flavor, and I was like, first of all, the packaging got me because I was like, this is very strange for vape juice. And it's literally a guy with a beard. And it's called The Beard. And you're like, ew, is that like, does it smell like fucking beard oil? Or like what is that supposed to be? And then in the description it says like cinnamon funnel cake. And I don't like overly sweet things. I'm not like a sweets person. But I love cinnamon. I love cinnamon. It's my favorite flavor of all time. And so for some reason I was like, great idea, because it said cinnamon. So I got that, and I even looked like later, and there was an actual just purely cinnamon one, and I was like, but I like that one. I knew I liked the beard one at this point, so I was like, I'm just gonna stick with what I know. Because I hate when you purchase something and you don't like it, but you have to use it. But so I was like, this is gonna be gross. Once I bought it, immediately had buyer's remorse. And then I got it, and I was like, holy shit, this is actually really good. So it's called The Beard, which also, in the queer community, we know what beards are. But it's actually surprisingly very good. And so I'm very happy with how this has turned out. And now I don't have to go through the cost and the conflama of like disposable vapes, and just like it's just too much for me right now. Although I don't, I stopped vaping for a couple days when I was extra sick. No big deal. I kind of stop and start when I want at this point. I'd picked up smoking again for the past couple years, but um, it just became like it's just they're expensive, and yeah. So I'm telling you all the things. I'm airing my dirty laundry for you all. Speaking of, I do have things in laundry that I need to get, but I will do that after this video. Um, I appreciate you all just coming out and hanging out with me. I know that it's weird to for me to kind of keep making these videos of being like I'm back, and then like I don't do a video for a month, and I'm like and like then I come like I know that that's weird, and I don't prefer it that way, and I'm hoping that once I get like an apartment and I get a laptop that works and I get, all of these things, like I hope those things just become normal again, because it was really nice to like when I was in my apartment in North Carolina to like be able to like talk to you all more frequently and like be able to have conversations that like I didn't have to remember what you said last time we talked, because it wasn't a fucking month ago, and like those things are actually super annoying, and especially when you have memory problems like I do, it's really fucking difficult to remember what people talked about a month ago, and you're like, I don't remember anything. And then I just, I like being able to come on here when I want to, when I like, at any time of the day, not just when like I'm not in program or my roommate's gone or something like that. So hopefully we'll get a better schedule. I'm also trying to, before I was trying to get more makeup gigs, and I was trying to put more effort into my makeup YouTube channel, and I still would like to do that. So hopefully I can get that rolling and start having some fun with that, because that is part of the reason why I'm so determined to stay in LA County is to work on my makeup career, because that's something that, even though it's not stable, it's actually kind of better for me and my health because it's not stable, because then I can freelance when I feel up to it, and when I don't feel up to it, I'm not obligated to. But yeah, so I might let you all go. I crocheted this much. I did not crochet that much at all. But it was really lovely being here with you all. I am congested. I'm here to hear, but that's okay. And I hope you all are doing well and taking care of yourself in this crazy world. And I know that there's a lot of stuff going on. Actually, I know some of the stuff that's going on, and I know that there's more that I don't know about. So, whatever you can do, try to be nice to other people who, when you can, and, you know, stay righteous, my dudes and non dudes. And, yeah, so I will talk to you all later. I hope you have a great night, morning, midday, whatever, wherever you are. And, yeah, I will talk to you then. Okay, bye.